Tonight is our 9th annual Craft Workforce Development Excellence Awards program. And we're really excited to be able to recognize high school instructors, as well as a couple of university professors and instructors for their great efforts, in addition to our contractors who are doing such a great job in improving the craft workforce.
We would like to recognize and ask the following people to come forward to receive the special award as GBRIA Craft Workforce Development Champion. Mr. Reggie Lemoyne, non-destructive testing instructor at the Baton Rouge Community College. Congratulations. If you would come on this side. Mr. Lemoyne teaches his students more than non-destructive testing. He leads these students beyond academics to create successful adults. His students move on to successful careers and credit their success to their instructor, Mr. Lemoyne. He cares about all of BRCC's programs and works with other instructors and departments to develop cross-curriculum projects. He has leveraged the process technology instructors to give his students valuable knowledge of common operating processes. Congratulations, Reggie. Again, thank you for your hard work and dedication. You're truly a valuable asset to industry and GBRIA and the community. And next, Dr. Lu Yuan. Please come up. He's the interim department head, computer science and industrial technology, and associate professor of occupational safety, health and environment, and holder of the Louisiana State Board for Contractors at Southeastern Louisiana University. Dr. Lu, congratulations. Southeastern's occupational safety, health, and environmental degree provides training for careers in the demanding field of safety. Congratulations, Dr. Yuan. You're truly a valuable asset. This year, GBRIA's Contractor Workforce Development Committee felt that special recognition should be made to area high school instructors that have demonstrated an outstanding job of teaching and promoting career and technical education classes that relate to construction. Now, we'd like to recognize and ask the following people to come forward to receive this special award as GBRIA High School Craft Education Champions. Now, following are just a few highlights from each teacher. They're doing a lot more than what I'm saying. Mr. Billy Dwaron. Mr. Dwaron is the welding, carpentry, and electrical instructor at Live Oak High School and is being recognized as a vital part of Live Oak High School's success. Mr. Craig Grenier. Mr. Grenier teaches NCCER and AWS welding at Plaquemine High School. Mr. Grenier also participates in faculty events and works evening classes. He also offers his Saturdays and Sundays to help students who need additional practice in the welding lab before testing for certification. Mr. Grenier has incorporated special needs students into his program and reduced the dropout rate of at-risk students. Congratulations. Mr. Felix Landry. Mr. Landry teaches NCCER Core and Carpentry at the St. James Parish Career Center. Mr. Landry exposes his students to a variety of fields while developing leadership skills. Thank you. Next is Ms. Keisha Nall at East Ascension High School. Ms. Nall teaches NCCER welding at East Ascension High School and has an excellent rapport with her students. Mrs. Nall has assisted district and school leaders by coordinating opportunities for NCCER training for new ag teachers and has volunteered to train her colleagues to ensure they have the proper certifications needed to credential their students. Mrs. Nall has also offered after-school hobby classes in areas such as welding to other teachers on her campus. When the tailgate parade went by with a huge metal Spartan helmet, everyone took notice of the welding program. She has a knack for creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship that she successfully is instilling in her students and indeed the whole school. Congratulations. Next is Mr. Davis Rayburn. Mr. Rayburn embodies character that establishes success in his students. Mr. Rayburn has achieved the American Welding Society's Welder of the Year award twice, as well as the Baton Rouge Sector Educator of the Year, District 9 Educator of the Year, in addition to awards around the local Zachary area for his continued pursuit of excellence. His experience provides a broad depth of reality for the students he teaches. He has showcased skills learned by his students in championing specific welds and has placed third or higher for 20 consecutive years in the ABC Welding Championship. This is Mr. Rayburn's second year to receive the GBRIA Craft Education Champion Award. Congratulations. The principal. Oh, okay. Okay. It's He's accepting on behalf of Mr. Rayburn. All right, next is Mr. Raymond Roberts. Mr. Roberts teaches NCCR Core and Electrical at Maurepas High School. With 10 years of industry experience and 26 years teaching experience, Mr. Roberts has received recognition with various awards, including Outstanding Young Agriculture Teacher of the Year, Maurepas High School Teacher of the Year, Walmart Teacher of the Year, and most recently, Honorary American Degree from the National FFA organization. Mr. Roberts' influence is not only seen in his awards, but also in his efforts to provide for his students. Mr. Roberts has offered to pay for students' tuition to assure his student could enroll in the ABC summer program. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Mr. Jeff Tomplay. I hope I said that right. Mr. Tomplay has been instrumental in implementing the Agri-Science Department at Dutchtown High. Through a Louisiana Construction Education Foundation grant, he has trained many students who have received electrical certification and continue to work toward advanced certification. Mr. Tomplay has excellent rapport with his students and is respected by his colleagues as well as his supervisors. Congratulations. Thank you. And that wraps up our Champion Awards. Congratulations to everyone. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Robert Douglas, Senior Section Manager at ExxonMobil, to the stage to introduce and give an overview to a new award program we have this year, our GBRIA High School Workforce Development Awards. Robert.
Good evening. GBRIA has seen investment in our area's workforce not only within our contractors, but also with our very own area high schools. High schools have implemented National Center for Construction Education and Research, that's NCCER as we so affectionately call it, curriculum training as well as agri-science classes into their programs, and they have even helped their students continue to ABC craft training to achieve certification. This effort not only aids our local industries access to a more skilled workforce, but also offers a wider variety of successful career opportunities to these students. Therefore, we find it necessary to award these high schools, making the effort to help jumpstart Louisiana's workforce. In order to be eligible for an award, high schools have to have been nominated by either a contractor or a plant. Excuse me. A representative from that school then had to fill out a questionnaire and participate in an audit. Nominees are categorized based on their student body size as Division I, Division II, and Division III, grouping similar sized nominees together based on their student body count. Before announcing the recipients, I would like to just take a moment to recognize some nominated high schools. Although these schools were not able to complete the entire awards process, it is an achievement to have been nominated for our awards. They are Baker High School, Bel Air High School, French Settlement High School, Glen Oaks High School, Louisiana School for Agricultural Sciences, Livonia High School, and St. Amant High School. Now, I would like to ask John to come back up and Jessica GBRIA, GBRIA's Manager of Communication and Workforce Development, who will be announcing at the podium.
Thank you, Robert. So with this being my very first year to facilitate these awards, I feel that it's necessary to share that I was absolutely blown away by not only the obvious efforts of our nominees, but also their enthusiasm as well as their passion toward not only their students, but to their community as a whole. So after hours of interviews with each of these schools, I've realized that there is a lot of great education going on in industry, and it should be proud of our educators and young people for jump-starting industrial arts after they had almost been forgotten in our schools. I will now announce our high school nominees. Audience, I ask that you please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced within each category. In our Division I category, the following schools were nominated. Doyle High School, nominated by Jacobs. Maurepas High School, nominated by Excel. Plaquemine High School, nominated by Dow Chemical and Performance Contractors. Schools, when announced, please come forward to receive your award. Receiving this year's Award of Recognition in the Division I category is Maurepas High School. Congratulations. Receiving the Award of Merit in the Division I category is Plaquemine High School. Congratulations, Plaquemine. And receiving the Award of Excellence in the Division I category, Doyle High School. Congratulations. In our Division II category, we had the following schools nominated. Central High School, nominated by ExxonMobil Performance Contractors and Primoris Services Corporation, and Live Oak High School, nominated by Westgate and Performance Contractors. And receiving the Award of Merit in our Division II category, Central High School. Congratulations. Receiving the Award of Excellence in the Division II category, Live Oak High School. Congratulations. In our Division III category, we had the following schools nominated. Dutchtown High School, nominated by Triad Electric and Controls. East Ascension High School, nominated by Turner Industries. St. James Parish Schools Career Center, nominated by Motiva Enterprises, Primoris Services Corporation, and Turner Industries. And Zachary High School, nominated by Performance Contractors. Receiving the Award of Recognition in the Division III category, Zachary High School. Congratulations. Also receiving the Award of Recognition in the Division III category, Dutchtown High School. Congratulations. Receiving the Award of Merit in the Division III category, East Ascension High School. Congratulations. And receiving the Award of Excellence in the Division III category, St. James Parish Schools Career Center. Congratulations. And that wraps up our high school awards. Congratulations to you all, and thank you for your investment in our workforce future. At this time, I invite Connie Fabry, who will continue with our program.
Great. All right, hello again. This year, for the first time, we will do something long overdue, and that is to recognize all of the plants and contractors who make craft training possible at the Associated Builders and Contractors and at many of our high schools. The GBRIA ABC Joint Task Force and the Craft Training Partnership was established in 1994. And since then, we estimate has funded over $50 million for craft training. Tonight, we'd like to present a small token of appreciation to all of our participants, shown on the screen and in your program. We have a lapel pin that we'll be handing out. I would just like to thank you to everyone who makes craft training possible, and I'd like you to give basically yourselves, a lot of you are here in the room, a hand. Thank you so much. So now I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Ken Bradford, who exemplifies our theme for tonight of Jumpstart Louisiana's Workforce. Ken Bradford serves as Assistant Superintendent, Louisiana Department of Education, Office of Student Opportunities. The programs Mr. Bradford oversees have helped Louisiana lead the nation in advanced placement growth the past 4 years. Ken has led the implementation of Jumpstart, Louisiana's new career education program. His detailed bio is included in your program. And he comes to us with a lot of credentials and experience, and we really appreciate everything that you're doing, Ken. And I'd like to welcome you to the podium. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening. First, I'd like to thank GBRIA for the opportunity to be here tonight. When I arrived at the door this morning, I brought in my box, and you have all the high school student planning guides. And when I looked in, it was 5:20, and I walked in, and they were doing, I don't know, was it, LSU biological seminar or something. I said, I don't think that's what I came for. And so, anyways, I snuck in, and then they locked the doors on the outside, and they started bringing in the Renaissance crew, and it was an all hands on deck type meeting. And so, for those of you looking for a skilled work craft, I can tell you there's 25 people here in this Renaissance building that work here that they know how to hustle and get it done, because they really worked hard. I'm telling you, it's transformed the whole room this evening. So let me just give you the backstory on Ken Bradford. So Ken Bradford wasn't originally from Louisiana. I had lived in Bangor, Maine. When I was 4 years old, my dad took me to an air show. When I went to that air show, I sat in the front of a Huey helicopter. From that point, I said, you know, I want to go in the military. And I went to one of those high schools where everybody goes to college. That was what you were expected to do, take the college curriculum and go to college. And so I got to my junior year in high school, talked to the military recruiter and said, you know, I want to go in the Army and fly helicopters. They had this new helicopter called the Apache, AH-64, and they'd show it on TV doing inverse rolls, and I said, that has my name on it. The recruiter comes down to my house my junior year in high school, 16 years old, says, look, talks to my parents. He said, look, we can't put him in the delayed entry program yet because he's not 18. We need your consent. I said, where's the paperwork? We're ready to sign him up. Take him. Please take him and do something with him. So they signed the paperwork, and I went down to the MEP station. And when I went down there to get the physical and sign up, I had this big vision. I'm going to sign up to fly Apache helicopters, and I'm going to go to Fort Hood, Texas, because I wanted to get south where it was warm. And not only that, Fort Hood, Texas has 2 golf courses on it. And I said, this is me, sign me up. Went down, and when I came back home, I ended up driving M1 Abrams tanks, and I got stationed, not at Fort Hood, but I got stationed at Fort Polk, Louisiana in 1989. I went from 2 golf courses at Fort Hood to a Pizza Hut and a Walmart. But I've been through there recently, and they have a few more things now than Pizza Hut and Walmart. But the point was, I remember sitting in my classroom that junior year in high school, and my math teacher saying, next year when you guys are, at the university and your professor's trying to teach this, and I kept saying, no, not me, I'm going to be in the Army. So I got stationed at Fort Polk, and I made the best of it. One weekend, I came down and got leave for the weekend. We came through Baton Rouge, and it happened to be a homecoming. And it was just a really good experience. So when I got out of the military, I decided to stay here in Louisiana. I went to LSU. And when I graduated at LSU in 1995, I got my first teaching job. I saw Mr. Ball sitting over here, who used to be a welding instructor at Estruma High. But graduated in May of 1995, graduated at, that morning, and that afternoon I went on a job interview in East Baton Rouge Parish, and that evening I had a phone call, and they said, do you want a teaching job? I said, sure. They said, can you coach? I said, I'll coach whatever you need. So I spent 7 years at Estruma High, coached football, wrestling, and track, and then went back to LSU, and eventually I came to the Department of Education, and I've been here now almost 15 years at the Department of Education. And I started doing, volunteer at the department, and then I got an internship, and then I got a full-time position. But back in 2012, the night before Superintendent White took office, I got an email. You need to be in Superintendent White's office tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I looked at the rest of the names on the list, and there was about 6 people. I said, these people are pretty squared away, so it's probably a more positive thing than a negative thing. And went into the office, and he said, hey, look, we've heard we want you to be on our transition team. Sure, do whatever. So we started the transition team, and eventually, once he got the department organized in the structure he wanted, one thing that stood out is his first day. He still talks about this. He got 4 PowerPoint slides the first day, and this is what it showed. It showed that for us here in Louisiana, for every 100 students that made it to the 9th grade, and I say that made it to the 9th grade because for the 8th graders in the state of Louisiana, 40% of them that were held back in the 8th grade never made it to a high school campus. Now think about that. I don't mean didn't graduate. I mean 40% of our 8th graders that were held back in the 8th grade never even stepped foot on a high school campus. Of our incoming freshman class of 100, 71 were graduating in 4 years. Of those, 49 were entering college within a year, and then 19 of that original 100 in that freshman class would get a college degree within 6 years. We looked at the diploma structure. So if you have only 19% getting a college degree, we went back and looked at the diplomas, and the diploma structure was set up so that you had a career diploma. 2% of our students in the state were taking a career diploma. We had a basic diploma, and the basic diploma basically meant you take 24 credits and you'll get a diploma. 23% of the students, almost a quarter in the state, were on that. And the remaining 77% were on a college diploma. So we knew we had to fix that. There was a gap. And so there was an 81% weren't getting a college degree. So went around the state and did a tour. Got business and industry, local school systems, higher education, LCTCS system, and said, what can we do to strengthen Louisiana's career education program? And here's the 5 things we came away with. Number 1, we need to end the labeling of career education in Louisiana. It was being labeled. There was a law that said for every 8th grader that is not proficient in 8th grade math, you will put them in a career diploma track. That law has since been changed. The diplomas have been leveled. So now it means that a high school, you come into high school, you take the same set of courses your 9th and 10th grade year. Then you start making a decision, do I want to do career or do I want to pursue college coursework? The second thing was establishing regional teams. We wanted regional teams engaged around the state with the students' education. What was happening is every kid that used to take a career track, they had to take 6 CTE courses, kind of in that same area. In Baton Rouge, the Department of Education would put out a guide and say, if you're going to offer NCCR welding with Mr. Ball at Central, here's the 6 courses you have to teach. And we said, that's wrong. I said, so here's what we came up with. It says, let's have regional teams, and these regional teams will then come back and they will present a 9-course sequence that students will take. And so when we talk about Jumpstart, that's what we're talking about, is students are now on a career diploma. They're taking a bundle of 9 courses. It culminates in an industry-based credential, and the courses are developed locally, and they're offered locally. It's business and industry, partnering with K-12, partnering with post-secondary, saying, these are the courses we're going to offer. Fourth thing, was the funding. We said, you know what, there's 700 CTE courses in the state. If you looked at the course catalog and said, how many of those 1,800 possible courses that a high school could offer, the course titles, how many are CTE? There were 700. Then when we dug into those 700, we started, talking with Economic Development, Workforce Commission, and WIC, said, you know what? We need to get those high-wage, high-demand type of courses like welding, like IT, like Zachary is doing, like we're seeing the St. James Center doing at the Career and Tech Center. But those courses, there's more of a cost. And so what